You're not alone. If you need someone to talk to today, please contact Crisis Services Canada by either calling them at 1-833-456-4566 all hours of the day, or you can text them at 45645 at 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Time. Remember, you're not alone, and Crisis Services Canada is here to help. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions. I'm your host, Graeme Forsyth. Today's edition of Coffee with Graeme, like all of our other editions of the show, is brought to you by AETi, Caisse Financial Group, Evolve Green, Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy, and TOVI Hockey. We got a good show lined up for you guys today. Starting off, we're going to be talking about some female hockey. Actually, in these two people that are going to be on the show, it's going to be all female hockey talk today. But for this first one, going to be talking to a back-to-back national championship head coach in Tony Bertone. The Assiniboine Community College Cougars women's hockey team ended up going back-to-back recently here in the tournament they were playing in the national championship. I'm going to have a chance to ask Tony about just that national championship experience, what it was like to watch this team go on a run and be able to become back-to-back champions in school history. And we'll probably, not too sure yet, but also talk about what it's looking like for next season for this team in terms of the recruitment and where they're at there. So stay tuned. Stick around here on Coffee with Graeme to watch this interview with Tony Bertone, head coach of the Assiniboine Community College Cougars, here on Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions. Enjoy, everybody. And there he is, national championship head coach Tony Bertone. Tony, congratulations. You guys are champions. Once again, must feel pretty special after everything that's happened in the past 2 years for this to end the way it did. I mean, must be a sensational feeling knowing you guys are national champs once again.
Thank you, Graeme, for having me, and good morning to everyone. Yeah, it was quite a ride in St. Louis. So I'll tell you, it was a lot of fun. The girls enjoyed it immensely, and the outcome, what we wanted. And we started out at the start of the year, and we set our goals to qualify for the 3 spots in the Western Conference, and then. Go to St. Louis and represent Brandon and our college once again at these nationals. And yeah, we started out. We this year with COVID we missed 2 years, so nationals were postponed, and we were defending champs. And it was a lot of pressure on this group, being 16 rookies and 1 vet. To have all that pressure, because these teams are going to be gunning for you and putting a lot of their A game against you, and so I give credit to these 16 rookies and 1 vet for stepping up and showing that they we can play hockey here in Brandon and at our college. It was beautiful.
Well, the team had to go through the University of Vermont, University of New Hampshire, Sioux College, Northeastern, and Dakota College at Bottineau, the Lady Jacks. Just talk about what that run was like. I mean, this team was able to have 2 shutouts to start off the playoffs, let up 1 goal against Sioux College, let up 3 against Northeastern. I'm not sure what the score was against Dakota College at Bottineau against the Lady Jacks, because it isn't posted on your guys' website. Just
2-1.
Yeah.
2-1.
So 2-1 final. So good defensive hockey throughout. The most goals this team let up throughout this playoff run was only 3. Just talk about how huge that was to have that type of defense that continued into the postseason from how strong it was in the regular season.
And that's what we stressed all year: defense first, and then we'll take our opportunities when they come. And we went 19 goals for and 5 against the whole 5 games. So that just shows and tells you what how starting in goal, Megan Bestwork and Geneva Penner, we're rock solid, and then our defensive core, the best in the league, and our forwards, our top line. There isn't a line in D2 that can play at their level, and and I'm not shunning any of the other teams, but it's just the talent that these three bring. Emily Thompson and Aiden Roberts and Simone Turner, and they were an offensive threat for us. And then our second line, Cora Fajala in the middle, and Savannah Doak on wing, and Alicia Simpson again. They put so much pressure on other teams' lines, and chipped in with goals also. So, and then our third line, our shutdown line, hardest working line, that I've ever had been with on a hockey team. That they just never quit. Lise Bellinger and Remy Buchanan and Emma Gamachi, they all worked hard, and everybody did their part, and that's what we talked about. Vermont, we played them first, and it was 3-0. First period we were nervous. And like I say, with the 16 rookies, it is going to be nerve-wracking for them, and then they, second and third, we played our game and beat them 3-0, and same with New Hampshire. First period, again, nervous as heck, and then we come out and found our game, and we won 5-0. And then Sioux College, I'll tell you what, a lot of people came up to me and said, that was the best game so far in the tournament. The Sioux College and us, we just played hard, hard fought hockey. I'll tell you a story, Graeme. The ref come up to me and before we started, and he says, Coach, he says, you know what? He says, you're 2 Canadian teams. He says, I'm going to let you play Canadian hockey. And I says, I'm all okay with that. I said, as long as we keep that other cheap stuff out of it. And he says, there won't be none of that. I says, good Canadian hockey. I says, let's go. Let's giddy up. And they let us go. And, when we played good, it was 1-0. And then the Sioux College tied her up 1-1. And then we went ahead 2-1, and then we got an empty netter for a 3-1 win against Sioux College. But I'll tell you, it was, and it was good 3 20-minute periods for our girls, because our girls knew them. We played them twice before, and the nerves weren't there. They knew what Sioux College was going to bring, and I'll tell you, they brought a great game, and then we went on to Northeastern, Graeme, another big team, really good skating team, and they came at us in the first period, and I'll tell you, Geneva just she let one in, and but she stood her ground. She made some huge saves, and then we found our game in second and third, and we beat them 5-3. But again, it was a terrific game, and it was goaltending and a total team effort that we ended up beating Northeastern. They were a really good team. Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, you guys ended up finishing it off against Dakota College at Bottineau, the Lady Jacks. But just speaking about the goaltending, I know that all season long, when you were on the show, you talked about you felt like you didn't have a 1-2, you felt like you had a 1A, 1B, 2 starting goaltenders, and Megan Biswitherick and Geneva Penner. Did you roll alternating them throughout the playoffs, or did you?
Yeah,
and
the thing is, I knew Sioux College was our third game, and Geneva never made that road trip to Sioux, Michigan, so we only had Megan that trip. So Megan got to play Sioux College twice and beat them twice. So we started our tournament with Megan, with Vermont, and then Geneva got New Hampshire, and then we lined up Megan for Sioux College because we're just going with the odds. Megan has played them twice, knows them, so we didn't want to put Geneva in that position where because we knew it was going to be a hard fought game, and we just didn't want to put Geneva in that position there to play Sioux College. So we went with that rotation, and then Geneva got the semifinal game against the Northeastern, which again we didn't know anything about, the new team to us, and they come from the Southeast Conference, and we Geneva just stood on her head. And then in the final, we had to talk. Coach Terry and I had to talk with the girls, with the goaltenders, and we just went with Megan. Like I say, just again because Megan had played Dakota College twice and beat them twice, and Geneva played them only once, and it was a 2-1 win for Dakota. And that was our first game of the year. And then we went on 19-0, right? 19 wins in a row after that first loss of the year to Dakota College, and we never lost another game after losing to Dakota College. Yeah, isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that is amazing. And you guys didn't even get blown out against them. It was only a 2-1 loss, and to rally off 19 straight to win the national championship. I mean, with 16 rookies as well, of course, the one bet on the team being Simone Turner-Cummer coming in. I mean, just how much does that speak to just the maturity in this group, but also just the skill level of this group to be able to rattle off 19 straight wins and become national champions once again?
Yeah, and again, we didn't have a lot of vets in that dressing room. Simone had the load on her shoulders. Once the coaching staff steps out, and we knew, Simone was, very positive with the girls, and just telling them how it is, and we were like that all year. Even with the coaching staff, we were straight up with them. And that's one thing I don't do a lot of BS, and I tell the truth, and we prepare the girls, and like I say, these 16 rookies, they we started out the year, Graeme, and I said to Coach, I said, we're going to take it easy with this group, is I don't know what to expect and how much time it's going to take to learn every system that we have and everything, and and then by Christmas, they were just soaking it all up and asking for more to, move on to a different system. And I said to the girls, I said, you know what, girls, we've got something here. We've got something special brewing here. You're going to be able to write your chapter at the college, and it's going to be a good one. Trust me. I believe in you, girls. And, and they just kept building and growing as a group. And togetherness and the belief and in each other and the hard work that everybody brought every shift, it was amazing. And and that's what we want, to write their chapter and leave their mark. And we talked about that all the time. Don't write on what the past teams have done. Just write your chapter. And I'm going to look forward to the next group coming in. It's going to be just this. My same old stories, and then there's going to be girls that are from this team now are going to be coming back next year, and then I'm going to have more of a vet presence in the dressing room, and it's going to help Simone. Simone's coming back from her last year, and then it's going to help her lead next year's group to defend our national title again.
And speaking of Simone, like she did all season long, stepping up big in these playoffs in this national championship run. Just to see it unfold again, where she stepped up as that vet coming in, knowing that she's been able to do it before. Just how special was that to see Simone doing what she did once again, come playoff time and crunch time, clutch time here.
Yeah, Simone, there's no quit in her, and it's amazing to watch her play. She's so smart, and her line, she was, you could hear her on the ice, calling out their names, and they were responding to what she was saying, and they were all in sync. And once they started cycling, you know what? Nobody could keep up with them because they were so quick and tic tac toe, and it was in the back of the net. And it was amazing. It's a special line, and it's a special group of players that we had the pleasure of coaching this year. They really came together, and for a young group, I'll tell you, they really stepped up. It's amazing. Yeah.
Let's dive in truly now to that final game, that national championship game against Dakota College at Bottineau, the Lady Jacks. So we haven't done that yet, but this is the only team that beat you guys in regular season play. I mean, in total this season, the girls, this team ended up losing against Balmoral Hall as well, the Blazers exhibition. But the true loss only came to Dakota College at Bottineau. Lady Jacks. So going up against them in the finals, what was that like? What was that game like for you girls, for the girls on this team?
They got us in our home opener in Brandon here, 2-1, and I talked to the girls after the game. They were I could sense the nervousness in them, and they were not really playing the game. They were mostly doing a lot of watching, and then in our second game that weekend, we beat them 2-1. So the girls saying, hey, we could beat this group, and then we went our third game against them. We were on our way to Fargo for a Sunday match against NDSU, and we stopped in Friday at Bottineau, and we played them a game in their rink Friday night, and we beat them 5-1. And then the girls, really responded and said, this is how much we've grown from a 2-1 game, to a 5-1 game, and then playing them we met them in the finals, and we knew Reed would, get his girls ready and play to play us, and they played well, but you look at the shot clock, and after 2 periods, it was I believe it was like 22-9 or something like that for us, and and then in the third period, I told the girls, we haven't 1 and 2, we haven't played our best. And if you you want this title, you're going to have to put a total team effort in the third here, and we came out, and we ended up. I think the shots were 30-10, but I think we gave them 1 shot that whole period.
Wow.
And the girls totally dominated, and then we got. Simone got the go-ahead goal, 2-1, and that's where we kept at it, and we just hemmed them in, and then shut them down, and I told the girls, I says, what, 2-1's good, that'll win us a championship. So let's just keep pucks deep and cycle them, and just keep them hemmed in, and they did that game plan, and it worked out. 2-1 victory. Yeah.
What was that moment like? The clocks hit 0, celebrating with the team taking the picture, the dressing room, the ride back. I mean, just the aftermath of it once it happened. Just
yeah. You know what? When I experienced it in 18-19 with that group, and then to experience it again, and be blessed to experience that feeling again with this group. It just it's an unbelievable feeling. You're so happy for these girls to accomplish their goal, and just see the smiles on their faces, and and all the hard work that they put in. It's just totally amazing. it is, big coach and I give each other a big hug, and and those are memories that you'll always have for life, and that's what we told the girls. Soak this up. Is I asked them before the game, how many girls have won provincials or anything, any big tournaments, and I think there was maybe half a dozen put their hands up, out of 17. So your opportunities don't come to everyone, but you know what? When an opportunity to play for a title, for a provincial title or a national title, you know what? And don't regret anything. Just come out, play your game, give yourself 100%, and then, whatever happens. But at least when if you look back, win or lose, you can say, hey, I gave everything I could, and so this group, gave everything they could, and they ended up with a national title, and we're back-to-back champions. It's amazing. It just truly is amazing.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for COVID-19 canceling 2019-2020, this team could have been looking at 3 straight national championships. But just looking at how this program has grown, national champions once again, going to have a very experienced group coming in next season. I know that there's been some recruiting that's been done already, so I know that it's early at this point. The championship pretty fresh in your mind, as well as the players at this point. But what's going to be the goal here moving forward into looking into next season at this point?
Yeah, we've got our team is almost set. We got a few spots left. I'll leave them open for now for our tryouts, that we have in September. We have 2 tryout dates, so I don't fully give all the spots away. I always like to keep 1 or 2 available for any walk-ons, so that if somebody decides to come to the college, they have an opportunity to make our team. So, I really like, the recruits that we got coming in. Again, we look deeply into who we bring in, and make sure that they're a good fit, for academic and personalities and all that, make sure that it's a good fit, and especially academic. We want you to come to our college and get a diploma, and we just don't want you to come play on the hockey team. It's not all about just the hockey. It's about getting your education and getting the diploma and moving on and in their lives. So I'm really happy, Graeme, with what we got coming. And I can, honestly say I believe we'll be going to Boston next year to defend our title for sure.
Well, there it is. Some early confidence from Coach Tony Bertone. Excited to see what next season's group is going to be looking to write their chapter, how they'll be looking to write their chapter. And we'll probably be talking here in the near future here, Tony. Congratulations once again to, the team, as well as you and the coaching staff, rest of the coaching staff, on bringing home another national championship to the Assiniboine Community College Cougars women's hockey program, which is a program that's established themselves truly now as that true power, that top power in the D2 women's hockey, college hockey division. So you take care, Tony, and we'll
thank you, Graeme,
in the future.
Thank you for everything you've done for us in getting our name out there and everything you've done. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
It's my pleasure, Tony. You take care.
Okay, thanks. See you again.
See you. Always awesome talking to Tony Bertone. His team, his squad, national champions once again. And will they be going for 3 next year? They might have the team to do it. Simone Turner Simone Turner coming back as for her final year. And they will have more vets next season. So Yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens. Can they go for a three-peat this program? It will be interesting to see. But coming up after the commercial break, it's some more female hockey talk here on the show. I'm going to be talking to Cody Wall on Off the Wall with Cody, this week's edition of that segment. He's going to be coming on the show here, and I'm going to be asking him about the Swift Current Wildcats, their 3-2 double OT victory this past Sunday against the Regina Rebels in the Saskatchewan Female U18 AAA Hockey League semifinals. Game 2 of that series went on Sunday. Cody will be coming on the show to break that down in just a moment. You're watching Coffee with Graeme on ASTB Productions. Stick around for more. More importantly, Off the Wall with Cody coming up after this commercial break, everybody.
Why go solar? Solar is better than ever. Our revolutionary design and inverter equipment with the latest in solar panel technology for the ultimate in-home and business security. That's right, I said security. Grid security and security of your home are linked. Fortify your future today with a battery backup system. No maintenance, quiet running. Did you know in Manitoba, grid-connected, off-grid, and battery backup systems are 100% right off in the year you purchase for any company or farm? Do you want to back up your internet, keep your tills running, and the lights on? We can install a system that is right for you with battery backup fully capable of taking on all those essential loads and keeping you running. When you call our experts at Evolve Green, ask about getting your free energy audit today. Call or email today to find out what system works best for you. 1-866-5EVOLVE or support@evolvegreen.ca. Also, be sure to check out our website at www.evolvegreen.ca.
Welcome to Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy, your world-class academic and hockey training facility created to maximize each student's athletic and academic potential. Blackjack Stewart Arena, home of the Buffalo, is inside the 46,000 square foot complex, as well as a curling rink and other facilities. The students have a unique combination of successful, well-rounded education at Pilot-Mound Collegiate Institute and the professional hockey training in an encouraging community. The years of experience of on-ice coaching propel our students to the next level, both mentally and physically, in a professional environment.
It's this week's edition of Off the Wall with Cody on Coffee with Graeme. Cody Wall, man on this segment, joining his segment once again here on this Tuesday morning. Cody, only one game to talk about today, but it's going to be an exciting game to talk about because it was an exciting game this past Sunday between the Swift Current Wildcats and the Regina Rebels in the Saskatchewan Female U18 AAA Hockey League. But first off, as always, like I always ask it, how are you doing on this Tuesday morning, man? Great to have you on the show.
I'm doing good, Graeme. It's good to be on the show, and everybody who is in Swift Current this weekend for that playoff game got their money's worth with that game going long and just being a nail biter.
Yeah, and I mean it was tied at 2 after 1. I mean it was tied at 1 after the first period. It was 2-1 for the Rebels. After the second period, the Swift Current Wildcats were able to tie it up in the third period to force OT, and then it ended up needing double OT to be settled, and Swift Current was able to take this one 3-2. They were down 1-0 in the series. If they lost that game, Cody, they would have had their backs up against the wall, being down 2-0, and being down 2-0 in a 5-game series is pretty tough to come back from. So for Swift Current, probably their most important win of the season. Up until this point, they were able to get it done.
Oh yeah, like you said, with their backs up against the wall, this was definitely, if they wanted to have a real good chance at extending their season, going to the finals. This was their first step, was getting back to even, and the Wildcats, got to give them credit. They did their job. They fought back. They clawed their way back into that game and found a way to win.
It was tied after the first period, after the first 20 at 1 apiece. Shots were 10-8 for Swift at that point after the first period. But then Regina was able to score 1 in the second period, and Swift Current was shut out in that period. And the shots were 15-4 for the Regina Rebels in that period alone. So at that point in the game, Regina really turning it on.
Yeah, in that middle half, Swift Current didn't really look like they came out like they were really ready for that second period. Regina really took it to them in that second period, as you can see from the shot clock. Swift Current only registering 4 shots of their own, but you have to give credit to goaltender Carly Leonard. She stood tall, only let one get by her in that second period and kept her team in it for a rally back in the third.
Yeah, and you take a look at Carly Leonard, one of the more impressive goaltenders in the league this season, just looking at her stats, and making it even more impressive is knowing that she is a rookie goaltender. For her to be able to step up in this big spot, in this moment, in a game as huge as this game, too, in the semifinals against a team like Regina, who was first place for a lot of the season. For Carly Leonard, just being able to step up in a moment like this, absolutely huge for Swift Current.
Yeah, you know what? And playoffs are always built on those big moments. When the going gets tough, that's when you see what you really have in a team as well. And Carly showed that she has that tenacity to step up in those big games.
For the Regina Rebels, Peyton Schlamp ended up getting the start in net. Just your thoughts on her performance in goal. Obviously, losing in the OT, letting in the goal there in double OT. But overall, making 31 saves on 34 shots against. Talk about, the game from Peyton Schlamp this past Sunday.
Yeah, and looking at the Regina Rebels goaltender, you definitely can't fault her for the loss. When you're looking at a game where there's only 5 goals total in 5 periods, both goaltenders stopping their fair share of pucks, both of them almost hitting the 35 shot mark. But like you said, Peyton Schlemp did her job as well, and you know that last goal by Ava Metzger in overtime really was a one-on-one. Metzger apologized. It was not Metzger. It was Perlinger. That had picked the pocket of a Regina Rebels player and came in one-on-one. And when it's down to a player and a goaltender, it's really anybody's game at that moment. Whoever blinks first, and unfortunately for Peyton, she was the one who kind of blinked first. But like I said, you couldn't really fault her for taking the loss for Regina. She did her part in blocking and stopping a majority of the shots that she faced.
That double OT goal was scored by Caitlin Perlinger, and it was assisted by Sadie Keller and Jersey Watain. Swift scoring that one on the power play. They had 7 power play opportunities in that game. They scored twice. Their first goal came on the power play from Samantha Thompson from Lakin Swan, and Shelley Rubley assisting her on that. The first goal for Regina in this game, they scored on the power play as well. Brooklyn Nemegers, assisted by Greta Henderson and Alexis Petford. But Swift going 2 for 7 on the power play. Regina going 1 for 6 on the power play. Obviously, a huge story in this game was just the power play because of Caitlin Perlinger and Samantha Thompson scoring the 2 out of 3 goals for Swift Current on that girl advantage, and for Regina scoring one of their goals on the power play. Just talk about the special teams from both teams in this game.
Yeah, special teams definitely had a key moment in this game. Both teams' first goals coming on the power play. So, the special teams getting on the board early for both teams, but as the game progressed, the penalty kills for both teams seemed to tighten up. Really just was in the on the power play in the overtime or double overtime period, really was just a breakdown by the Regina Rebels. Perlinger picks the pocket of defenseman and then walks in and shoots. Really not your typical playoff goal. Not your typical power play goal, where usually on the power play you enter the offensive zone, you set up, and you look for an opportunity. Perlinger just found herself kind of with a little bit of time and space and was able to outmaneuver the goaltender Schlemp.
And talk about Regina's power play. Going one.
Yeah, Regina's power play looked good as well. Early on, they were able to generate shots and create momentum for themselves to propel them into, remaining in this game. Kept a lot of the shots, trying to get it from the point. Their first goal coming from Brooklyn, like you mentioned, on the power play. Brooklyn defenseman with a big shot from the point and able to often generate shots from that point area.
In terms of the shots in this game, it was 36-34 in total for Regina, the Rebels, advantage going to them, 36-34. But for Swift Current, they got outshot in the second and third period. In the whole 2 OTs combined, though, they put up 14 shots to Regina 6. So to see Swift be able to turn it on in the biggest moments, to be able to get the bulk of the opportunities in clutch time, in crunch time, in overtime, you got to be happy if you're Coach Terry Pavley, not only because of that, but because it also translated into this team being able to tie up the series, knot it up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, for sure. And just to bring it back, you had mentioned just those key moments and kind of people stepping up. Captain Ava Metzger stepped up in the third period and was able to put the Swift Current back to even there. And that's really something you look to from your leaders, is in those big moments like that, where your team's down in the middle half of the third period, you depend on your leaders to step up and create those big moments. And Ava Metzger definitely did that with tying up the game in the third period and sending the Wildcats to overtime to eventually take it in the second overtime period.
Yeah, and for Regina in this game, they had a 2-1 lead heading into the third period. Of course, they ended up letting up the lead with that goal from Ava Metzger, really being able to put her team on her back at that point and being able to tie up the game. Of course, Swift winning it in double OT. But for the Regina Rebels, not in trouble yet in this series, of course. They were up 1-0, so they had the advantage heading into that game 2 on Sunday. Of course, it is knotted up at 1 apiece in the series now. But for Regina, how exactly, in your opinion, they let this game slip away after being up 2-1 heading into those last 20 minutes of regulation?
Yeah, really, I think it seemed to be that they played a little bit more defensive game when it came into the third period. Didn't look like they had that same offensive bite that they did earlier, and that kind of opened the door for Swift Current to get back into the game in the third, and then the overtime periods, always back and forth, both teams giving their all, and really it just took a small inch there for a team to get ahead in this series, and that's, I think, what going forward we're going to have to see is, just those, it's going to be a game of inches in this series going forward. And, both teams are going to have to buckle up and fight for every inch that they get out there.
For the Swift Current Wildcats, relying on their depth in this game, 3 different goal scorers, Samantha Thompson, Ava Metzger, and Caitlin Perlinger. For the Swift team, they've had success all season long with their depth. Do we see this changing for Swift if they're looking to continue to have success against a highly skilled team like Regina here moving forward in the series?
No, definitely. They're gonna depend on that depth. When it comes to playoffs, depth scoring is always something you appreciate when you can have all 4 lines or all your lines going at a good clip and contributing in some sort, whether it be offensively or even just doing the little things, winning the puck battles. Having all your lines going at full capacity is definitely something you want if you want to make a lengthy playoff run. And so far, that looks like something that Swift Current has had is, like you said, that depth throughout the lineup.
Well, Cody Wall joining this week's edition of Off the Wall with Cody here on Coffee with Graeme, talking about the Swift Current Wildcats and Regina Rebels. These 2 teams, well, they're far from done in their playoff series. The next team to win 2 wins the series and ends up going to the finals. That game 3 of this series going on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Saskatchewan time at the Cooperator Center in Regina between the Regina Rebels and Swift Current Wildcats. Cody Wall, thanks for taking the time out of your Tuesday as always, man. And, we'll be probably doing this again next Tuesday, assuming that we'll be talking about this series again. So till then, man, you take care.
And thanks for having me on, Graeme. Always nice to chat with you here on Tuesday mornings.
Cody Wall joining this week's edition of Off the Wall with Cody, talking about the Swift Current Wildcats 3-2 win in double overtime this past Sunday at Fairview Arena. Of course, a game that could be seen on ASTV Productions, and you still can watch it if you visit our website at amateursports.tv or astvproductions.com. Go under our broadcast tab there, our broadcasts tab, and you'll be able to see any broadcast you want, as well as check us out on our the broadcast of the game on Facebook, on ASTV Productions, on our YouTube at Amateur Sports TV, or on our Twitter at Amateur Sports TV as well. Might not be on Twitter, but I know for sure the game is on Facebook, our website, and on our YouTube as well. So coming up after this next commercial break, it's time for this episode's edition of League Report. I'm going to be running you guys through what's been happening in the Manitoba Female U18 AAA Hockey League, the Saskatchewan Female U18 AAA Hockey League, the Manitoba Major Junior Hockey League, the Manitoba AAA U18 Hockey League, as well as the Winnipeg Women's High School Hockey League. Here next on Coffee with Graeme. You're watching Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions. Stick around for more after this commercial break. Welcome back to Coffee with Graeme here on ASTV Productions. Cody Wall joining me most recently here on the show on Off the Wall with Cody to talk about the past game we saw here on the network, the only hockey game that was on the network this past weekend in the Swift Current Wildcats and Regina Rebels Game 2 of their semifinals series in the playoffs. Of course, if you guys missed it and you want to check it out, we did something on ASTV Productions this weekend and started on Thursday, actually, so even before the weekend started. We were at Pan Am Pool in Winnipeg. I guess this was the second time we did it, but we were there to broadcast swimming, for the second time this year. And it was 4 long days, but it was some very entertaining swimming. Getting to watch it, getting to call it was a lot of fun too. Thanks to everybody who tuned in. If you did tune in and are watching this edition of Coffee with Graeme, I want to thank you for that. But yeah, it was the 2022 Sask Winter Provincial Championships. There was 4 days, 7 sessions in total, and yeah, it was pretty entertaining stuff. So yeah, moving away from that. Actually, before that, just to let you guys know, you guys can check that out on our website if you want, as well as on our Facebook, our YouTube, and not our Twitter, I don't think, but yeah, on our Facebook, YouTube, and on our website as well. You can go back and check out all the meets from the 2022 Sask Provincial or Winter Provincial Championships. But it's time now to move into this episode's edition of League Report, and we will be starting off with some female hockey. This is a game that happened this past Saturday, and we're talking about the MFHL first. 1 second here, folks. Let's share the screen, and we'll get onto it. So yeah, we'll share the screen here. Take a look at how that looks. So it's pretty clear, and as you can see, the Winnipeg Avros were unable to get it done after being down 2-1 in their series going into Game 4. They ended up tying up the series with a 3-0 win last Sunday. I guess 2 Sundays ago now, last Sunday, I guess. But yeah, for the Winnipeg Avros, they could not finish it off against the Ice after tying up that series. They lost 5-3, as you can see, this past Saturday on the 19th. So congratulations to the Winnipeg Ice. They will be playing against the Westman Wildcats for the championship in a best-of-5 series. Hurts me, and I'm sure Ferdy too, but I'm sure Ferdy doesn't really care that much. He's just excited about the exciting hockey we've seen. But on our prediction show, on our bracket reveal, me and Ferdy both had the Winnipeg Avros and Yellowhead Chiefs going to the finals, and the Winnipeg Avros winning it all. But this is sure to be a very entertaining final. Gotta eat my own words when I talk to Eugene Kaminsky and Guy Williams potentially on Thursday night's episode, of course. But Game 1 of the finals is going to be happening on Friday at 7:30 p.m. at Hartney Arena, the arena there. Since Westman is the 3rd place team in the league this season, they are the higher seed in this finals. Winnipeg Ice, they are the 4th seed, so they are the lower seed. So Game 1 going this Friday at 7:30 p.m. in Hartney, and we'll take a look at the stats leaders here in the playoffs. Just tell you guys about them. So right now, the leading point getter in the playoffs still remaining is Maya Eamon, a guest here of Coffee with Graeme, leading and actually tied for the lead in points in the whole playoffs with Nora Collins. So Maya Eamon having a good chance here, depending on what happens in the finals, to be the leader in points for the whole totality of the playoffs. 13 points in 8 games played. For the Westman Wildcats, it's been Callie Rice, a younger player on the team that has been leading the way for them. 11 points in 7 games played. We are going to go down to the goaltending, and this goaltending matchup should be very exciting. We got Grace Glover coming in with only 1 loss on her resume, 2 shutouts in these playoffs with a save percentage of .935, a goals against average of 1.52. For Laura Melissa, well, she's been pretty good as well. Has faced a lot of shots in these playoffs, way more compared to what Eastman has faced. Compared to what Westman has faced at this point in Grace Glover. But Laura Melissa, 5-2 on 5-2 on the playoffs. One of those wins being a overtime win. No shutouts for her, but a very good save percentage of .939 and a goals against average of 2.36. We'll be moving into the Saskatchewan Female U18 AAA Hockey League now, taking a look at the schedule. And of course, yeah, we'll take a look at it here. You know what? Put this here as well. So for round number 2, it started off this past Friday, and it was the Notre Dame Hounds taking on the Saskatoon Stars in game 1 of that series, and it was Notre Dame winning the first game of that series 4-0 on home ice at the Duncan McNeil Arena this past Friday. Moving into Saturday's action, there was only one game. It was the start of the other series, the Wildcats versus the Rebels, Swift Current versus Regina, and at home, Regina took care of business, 4-1 win over the Swift Current Wildcats. For the Notre Dame Hounds, they were back at it on Sunday against Saskatoon, this time in Saskatoon rather than Wilcox, Saskatchewan. And for Notre Dame, they won in a close one, 3-2, but that was a huge win for them. They now put Saskatoon up against the wall. Their backs are against the wall now, down 2-0 in this series. Moving into the game that we also talked about on the network already today, the Swift Current Wildcats defeating the Regina Rebels 3-2 in overtime. Playoffs for this league will not be being played until this Thursday coming up, so these teams having a break. It'll be Swift Current versus Regina back at it 8 p.m. Saskatchewan time. They'll be playing on Thursday, and then for game 3 in the Notre Dame and Saskatoon series, that will be taking place on Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Saskatchewan time at the Duncan McNeil Arena. Notre Dame looking to punch their ticket to the finals in that game on Friday. But let's move in now to the Manitoba Major Junior Hockey League, the MMJHL. Take a look at what's been happening here. So the Charles Wood Hawks ended up losing 4 games to the St. James Junior Canucks. Take a look at that series in just a moment, but we'll take a look at these series, and 3 teams have booked their ticket to the next round so far. Of course, St. James, they've done that. They will be awaiting the winner of the Raiders Junior Hockey Club and St. Vital Junior Victorias series, where the St. Vital Junior Victorias, this game happened on Sunday, so 2 days ago. They were able to survive and stay alive for another game, another day against the Raiders Junior Hockey Club, as with that win, 4-1 win for the St. Vital Junior Victorias, they have now extended the series to a sixth game. For the Raiders Junior Hockey Club, though, they're sitting pretty with a 3-2 series lead right now. But next game will be very interesting to see. The St. Vital Junior Victorias will be on the road. Can they force a game 7? Well, we will have to find out. That game 7 will be going tonight at 7:30 p.m. at the Seven Oaks Sportsplex, as you can see. And if there is a game 7 that needs to be played, well, that will be going down on Thursday, 7:30 p.m. at the St. Vital Centennial Arena. But yeah, taking a look at these other series, the Transcona Railer Express, after losing the first game, they stormed back with 4 straight wins, completing the series against the River East Royal Knights with a 4-1 win on Sunday. And for the Pembina Valley Twisters, they were down 1-0 in their series to start off, but they were able to win 4 straight to take out the 6th-seeded Fort Garry Twins 6-3 on this past Sunday at the Morris Multiplex. So taking a look at the schedule here, for the St. James Junior Canucks, they played on March 18th, so they finished it off on Friday night, and they won 4-2 against the Charles Wood Hawks. They're awaiting the winner of the Junior Victorias and the Raiders Junior Hockey Club series. For the Transcona Railer Express, they will be facing off against the Pembina Valley Hawks. Check back on the MMJHL's website at mmjhl.ca to find out when those matchups will be played. But also congratulations there to TJ Matsiuszewski of the Pembina Valley Twisters for winning the Steve Claus Memorial Trophy, which is the regular season scoring champion. I've already touched on that, but that was just right here. Wanted to read that out for you guys. You can also see the leading scorers in the playoffs here as well, and the leading goaltenders. Just be sure to check out the MMJHL's website at mmjhl.ca. Moving into the Manitoba AAA U18 Hockey League, or the Manitoba U18 AAA Hockey League. I'm not sure how it's different pronunciations everywhere. Up here it says MB AAA midget.ca, but that's where you can check out all the stats for this website in terms of what is going on. But yeah, let's get into it. Round one of the semifinals took place this past Sunday. The Winnipeg Wild, the second place team in the league, taking on the third place team in the league in the Eastman Selects. While that game was played at the Bell MTS Iceplex at the Subway Arena in the Bell MTS Iceplex, and it was the Wild taking that game 4-2. They're up 1-0 in their series over Eastman, the Selects, in this best of 5 semifinal. And for the Brandon Wheat Kings, they took on the Parkland Rangers in game 1, and that's who they're taking on in this series. Parkland, the only lower seed to make it into the second round, of course. Brandon, the Wild, and Eastman, or Brandon, Winnipeg, and Eastman, the only top seeds to advance. But for Brandon, they took care of business, cleaning up 8-1 in game 1 over the Parkland Rangers. Taking a look at when game 2s for this series go, well, it will be taking place on Friday next, where Brandon will be in Dauphin, Manitoba to take on Parkland, and the Winnipeg Wild will be in Beausejour to take on the Eastman Selects. Now move on to the Winnipeg Women's High School Hockey League, and I think playoffs are coming to an end in this league. They might have come to an end already. We'll check it out. We'll start off with the top division here, the Division 1 CTV division. CTV Division 1 as it's called. And in the finals, it was... Oh, I guess it's up here. Gonna look at it here. So it was the number 1 seeded CJS Olympians taking on the JH Bruns Broncos, and JH Bruns finished third in the league. And for the CJS Olympians, it was quite a battle for them. Let's take a look back at March 14th when the CJS Olympians, the home team at the Bell MTS Iceplex Flynn Arena, beat JH Bruns 4-0. In game 2, 2 days later, it was the JH Bruns Broncos saving their season at that point with a 3-2 double overtime win. So we needed game 3 in this series for the championship in the top division in the Winnipeg Women's High School Hockey League. And for the CJS Olympians, well, they were able to come through with the win 3-0 against the JH Bruns Broncos. So congratulations to the CJS Olympians, who on March 17th, this past Thursday, ended up being crowned the Queens, the winners of the CTV division, Division 1 in the Winnipeg Women's High School Hockey League, with a championship win in game 3, 3-0 over the JH Bruns Broncos. We'll move into Division 2 now, the Winnipeg Free Press division, and it was the Sanford Sabres, number 1 team in the league, taking on the Garden City Gophers, who were the number 2 team in the league. And it was the Sanford Sabres being able to win this series after being down 1-0 in the series after the first game. This series started back on March 15th. Last week, they played 3 days in a row, 3 games in a row. And it was the Gophers winning 2-1 in a shootout, which is stupid how any playoff game goes to a shootout, in my opinion. But that's besides the point here. The Sanford Sabres able to win 2-1 in game number 2 last Wednesday, 2-1, and then in game number 3, the final game of the season for this division, the Sanford Sabres being able to take the win 3-0 to claim a championship this past Thursday. We'll move in now to the higher marketing division 3, and it was the WKC Wolverines, taking a look at it, the 5th seed, or the 4th seed in the Winnipeg Women's High School Hockey League Higher Marketing Division 3. They made it all the way to the finals. They ended up upsetting the Glen Lawn Lions to make it there. And for the Wolverines, well, it was close for them. They almost pulled off this upset against the number 2 team, second-ranked team, terms of standings in the higher marketing Division 3 against Murdoch McKay. And let's take a look at how the series unfolded. Murdoch McKay took the first game of the series 3-2. The WKC Wolverines took the second game 4-0 to force a game 3. And it was the Murdoch McKay team winning 3-2 last Thursday to claim a victory, becoming the queens of the higher marketing Division 3 in the Winnipeg Women's High School Hockey League with a 3-2 win over the WKC Wolverines. So that is going to do it, folks, for this edition of League Report. We are going to send it to one last commercial break here in the show. Coming up after the commercial break, some final words here on this Tuesday morning on Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions. Welcome back to Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions, everybody. This is going to conclude today's edition of the show. I want to start off by giving a thanks to Tony Bertone and Cody Wall for joining today's edition of the show. Always great to talk to those two. Also, a special thanks to you, the viewer, for tuning into today's episode as well. And also a special thanks to our sponsors in AETi, Caisse Financial Group, Evolve Green, Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy, and TOVI Hockey for sponsoring another edition of Coffee with Graeme. We'll be back here on the network for Coffee with Graeme coming up this Thursday night. You can watch that episode at 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time. That is Winnipeg time, Manitoba time, at 8 p.m. Central Time then. On our Facebook at ASTV Productions, on our Twitter at Amateur Sports TV, or on our website at astvproductions.com, or you can also type in amateursports.tv. I'm pretty sure you can also watch us on Instagram now. I'm not too sure, but you can check us out there at astvproductions.com. And even if we aren't on Instagram, for these episodes when they're airing, broadcasting them, as that being a place for you to potentially watch them. If that isn't the case, well, Instagram is still a place you'll want to go to check out when our content is coming out, to check out when our content is coming out, as we post our promos there, our guest list who will be on our shows. And for Coffee with Graeme, that's where our guest list will be posted, along with on Facebook at ASTV Productions, as well as on our Twitter at Amateur Sports TV, coming up before noon, before 12 p.m. on Thursday morning. So stay tuned for that. So that's pretty much going to do it, folks. I have been your host, Graeme Forsyth, of Coffee with Graeme, giving you the salute, a peace out, signing off here on this Tuesday morning. Until next time when we see you next, folks, here on the network on Thursday night for Coffee with Graeme at 8 p.m. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday today. Stay safe out there. Have a wonderful, just have a good time, everybody. Get outside and enjoy the nice weather, as well as the snow is melting here in Manitoba. At least that's what I know. But yeah, enjoy the nice weather, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday, and stay safe out there. And until Thursday night, everybody, when we see you again, I'll see you then. Take care, everybody. Peace out.